So I'm curious, what was the deciding factor between cosmetology school and actually going to barber school?
Okay, very great question. In Atlanta at the time in '04, there wasn't too many barber schools.
Okay.
There's maybe one or two, and they were like really, and it's still that same way to this day, which is kind of unique. That's why I'm actually gonna. There's not a lot of barber schools in Atlanta. There's not like you would think there would be like maybe 15 to 20, but if they are, they're very small, mom and pop. They're not necessarily like sophisticated with what I wanted to do with my career.
Okay.
So every time I would go to the barber school, I was just like, man, this is not it. So finally, I went to Empire Beauty School and just saw that it was a lot more professional, just a lot more, not a lot more. It was just professional. It was just like massively on point. It's a franchise, so I was like, oh yeah, this is actually going to go way better, and I'll be able to learn something that I don't know because I know I felt like I knew how to cut hair. Of course, when you first start cutting hair, you think you can cut. So I thought I could cut hair, but I was like, so I don't really need to go to barber school. I need to go to cosmetology school because I don't know anything about cosmetology school, which turned out to be the best decision because it put me on to learning about color like in a more detailed way than just reading it through the book. Allowed me to become comfortable with chemicals, allowed me to become comfortable with facials, all the extra things, customer service, all the extra things that stylists have to kind of focus on. It made me have to focus on that. And so that's why I actually was able to kind of pull that and put it into like, what we got going on.
Wow. I got one more question.
Man, you have a million questions. Let's go, baby. I want to answer every last one.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have more than one more question. I hate that I put it that way. But just back to, you going to school, was financially, your time, was it a big obstacle for you? Because we've talked to a lot of barbers and a lot of them did have a lot of tall obstacles to finance going to school. Was that an issue for you?
So the good thing about what I was going through at that time was I had the Pell Grant because I was still within my, that age demographic. Yes, and by also going to cosmetology school, they were the only ones in Atlanta that was doing financial aid.
Yep.
So that's another top reason why I went to cosmetology school versus barber school, because as you know, most of the barber schools you typically have to come out of pocket because they're not necessarily backed by the government, or they don't have any type of like working capital to kind of give themselves, any room to allow their students to have scholarships. They don't have any of that stuff just set up just yet. So the same thing happened with me, and which actually was a blessing in disguise because it allowed me to go to cosmetology school without having to have any debt. I think I only had to pay $10,000 for my cosmetology school over an extended period of time.
Right.
But like coming out, all my all the guys that when I like I said got put on academic probation, most of the people that did go on and graduate that I loved and was my homies and made me feel not on purpose. They didn't make me feel insecure on purpose, but just because society at that point, 2001, 2004, was really about go to college, 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 go to no trade schools, no. There was no like entrepreneur. We all know you were there. You were there. There was no talk about entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
In 01, 04. It was like you're gonna either work at a factory, or you're gonna go track and learn how to be some type of like political science, something of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
Or chasing sports.
Or exactly. So like I didn't realize like I was able to actually get a better start and a way better start than a lot of the cats who come to me who are super high value, as we all know on the way we call ourselves now. The high value young men now, like I don't have any debt. They have debt. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, high value. Yeah. You're good, man. You're good.
So yeah, all that plays a part, man. Like, and even me using that subject or that term, man. Like, I watch and I study how everybody does what they do when they're promoting stuff, when they're grabbing an actual fan base. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. And so, yeah, man, so that's why I got high value man.
That's what's up. And I just like to ask those questions because you know, a lot of people use that as excuses, but you giving the game is like, okay, maybe this way might be better.
Yeah.
You know,
go to a school. I feel like if you're on the teeter of what you're going to do with, like, if you're going to go into the barber field or you're not going to go into the bar, man, go to a cosmetology school or a school that actually has like financial aid.
Right.
And you're going to learn all your top skill and your top craft amongst the barbers in your shop.
Right.
Not necessarily the people that are teaching you in the schools.
That's
so I always like implore everybody, like, yo, don't take on no debt, because all your master program people are going to be in the shop that you're going to work for. It's the real place that really builds and molds you is the first shop that you go to out of cosmetology or barber school.
Thank you for watching. If you want to see more of this clip, head to our YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast channels to check out the full episode.